The Pittsburgh Steelers find themselves in a pivotal moment. The pieces are mostly in place: a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback in Aaron Rodgers, a restructured offensive line, a two-headed tight end unit with Pat Freiermuth and Darnell Washington, and a defense that remains the heartbeat of the team. But one glaring hole threatens to unravel the whole operation: wide receiver depth. As the 2025 NFL season approaches, Pittsburgh's receiving core looks dangerously thin. With the departure of Deontay Johnson and the underwhelming development of recent prospects, the Steelers are operating with DK Metcalf as the sole proven receiver. While Metcalf remains a top-tier threat, even he cannot carry the full burden of Rodgers' passing game alone. And if Pittsburgh is serious about competing not just in the AFC North, but across the NFL landscape, this cannot be their final roster. General Manager Omar Khan knows this. He's been working behind the scenes for weeks, casting a wide net across the league. From subtle inquiries to aggressive trade feelers, Khan is reportedly exploring every option, no matter how unconventional, to give Rodgers the tools he needs to win now. With the preseason still ahead and final roster cuts looming in late August, the hope is to strike before desperation drives up the market. In-house, the options are limited. Calvin Austin III has shown flashes of promise, particularly on special teams and short-yardage gadget plays. But he's yet to prove himself as a reliable WR2, let alone someone who can take pressure off Metcalf. Then there's Roman Wilson, the rookie out of Michigan. Wilson brings speed and polish, but he's untested against NFL secondaries and will need time to adjust to the pro level. These two names, while intriguing, don't exactly scream Super Bowl ready. They're puzzle pieces, not cornerstones. That's why the Steelers are expected to make a move. And not just any move, a smart, calculated acquisition that won't gut their draft capital but will bring immediate value to the locker room and defense. Interestingly, some of the names Khan is rumored to be monitoring aren't high-profile stars, but rather players who have been underutilized, buried on deep depth charts, or are nearing the end of their rookie deals. It's a strategy rooted in practicality: find undervalued assets before they become someone else's breakout story. Take Alec Pierce, for example. The wide receiver from the Indianapolis Colts has been a steady, if unspectacular, contributor since being drafted in the second round a few years ago. With the Colts now focused on the development of Anthony Richardson and a younger group of pass catchers, Pierce has become something of an afterthought in their offensive blueprint. Despite that, he brings size, speed, and starting experience, three things the Steelers need immediately. Pierce is entering the final year of his rookie contract, making him a prime trade candidate for a team like the Colts, who are clearly pivoting toward long-term development. For the Steelers, it would be a low-risk move. A mid-round draft pick could get the deal done, and in return, Pittsburgh gets a player who's already accustomed to NFL defenses, has shown flashes of big play potential, and, most importantly, won't need a full season to acclimate. With Rodgers at quarterback, a receiver like Pierce could flourish, especially if he's used as a deep threat or in play-action scenarios. Then there's Jalen Nailor of the Minnesota Vikings, another name reportedly on Pittsburgh's radar. Nailor hasn't made many headlines during his tenure in Minnesota, largely because he's been overshadowed by the likes of Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. But last season, in limited action, he showed promise. He's a crisp route runner with strong hands and above-average acceleration off the line. His main issue has been opportunity, not ability. The Vikings, flush with talented receiver, may be willing to part with Nailor if the right offer comes in. For Khan, this could be the ultimate buy low scenario. Nailor wouldn't command a high price, maybe a late-round pick or a depth player in return, and yet he could walk into Pittsburgh and immediately compete for meaningful snaps. Even if he doesn't become a star, just having another consistent option in three wide sets could open up the offense and give Rodgers more flexibility at the line of scrimmage. And then there's perhaps the most compelling name of all, John Mechie III. Mechie's story is well documented. After a stellar college career at Alabama, he entered the league with high expectations. But before he could even play a snap, he was diagnosed with leukemia, a brutal twist of fate that derailed his rookie year and put football on the back burner. Remarkably, Mechie battled back, beating the disease and returning to the field last year. While his comeback was inspirational, his role in the Texans' offense has been murky at best. Houston has spent the past 2 off-seasons aggressively upgrading their receiving core. Nico Collins has emerged as a true WR1. Tank Dell, when healthy, is a dynamic playmaker. And with the addition of Christian Kirk and 2 more rookies in the latest draft, the Texans' depth chart has become crowded. Mechie, through no fault of his own, has been squeezed out. But talent doesn't disappear. Mechie is still just 24 years old. He has elite footwork, deceptive speed, and a natural feel for finding soft spots in coverage. What he needs is a second chance. A new environment. A quarterback who can trust him and help him regain confidence. Pittsburgh could be that place. Rodgers has a track record of elevating receivers, particularly those with something to prove. If Mechie were to land in black and gold, don't be surprised if he quickly becomes one of Rodgers' favorite targets. Of course, not all of these moves will happen. Some may not happen at all. But the fact that the Steelers are even exploring them says a lot about their mindset in 2025. They're not here to rebuild. They're not here to hover around .500 and hope for a wildcard berth. They believe they can contend, now. And with Rodgers' window likely no more than 2 or 3 years, every roster move matters. Every weapon counts. That's why Khan is being aggressive. He understands the urgency. This isn't a developmental year. It's not a wait-and-see season. This is go time. And if that means pulling the trigger on a mid-preseason trade for a WR3 or WR4 with upside, so be it. Because in the NFL, the difference between a playoff win and a playoff exit often comes down to the guy running a slant on 3rd and 8. The bigger question is this: will the Steelers stop at wide receiver? There are murmurs that Pittsburgh might also be evaluating other positions, backup offensive tackle, hybrid safety corner types, even a potential 3rd down back with more burst than Najee Harris or Jaylen Warren. But receiver is the loudest, most obvious need. It's the hole that every fan sees when they look at the depth chart. It's the question mark that keeps defensive coordinators smiling when they game plan for Week 1. Fixing it won't be easy, especially with teams unwilling to part with talent before injuries start piling up. But Khan's strategy is clear: find value where others see expendability. Use Rodgers' presence as a draw. Offer a lifeline to players lost in deep rotations. And build a room where no one receiver has to do everything, but everyone has to do something. In the coming weeks, names like Pierce, Naylor, and Mechie may become more than just rumors. They may become fixtures in the Steelers' huddle. They may line up next to DK Metcalf, share the field with Freiermuth, and catch game-winning passes from one of the most precise arms in NFL history. That's the vision. That's the plan. And with Omar Khan behind the wheel, don't be surprised if it becomes reality sooner than anyone expects.